Well, I would have had this done sooner, except for the fact that I had to work the last couple nights, Friday and Saturday night, and Sunday night I ended up watching Hardcore Justice, so I couldn't have done it then either. But anyway, I'm doing it now. Smackdown review for August 10th, 2012, emanating from the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. And speaking of Houston, Texas, we get the Smackdown GM, Booker T, all dressed up in a tuxedo. Well, considering it's his hometown, it must have been a special occasion for him. Anyway, they showed a replay of Sheamus borrowing ADR's Ferrari and taking it on a joyride through the streets of San Antonio Monday night, and even doing a couple touts from there. But anyway, Booker T, he calls down Sheamus to the ring, and he wants him to apologize for what he did to his car. So Sheamus comes down there, and he does apologize, and he wants to put it all behind him, but ADR and Ricardo come down to the ring and basically says he's going to file charges with the San Antonio Police Department for what he did to his car, and basically it sets up what was supposed to be the main event, which I will get to later on. Sheamus defending the World Heavyweight title against Alberto Del Rio. We're going to have SummerSlam a little bit early, aren't we? So the first actual match we had on the card was Sin Cara against Cody Rhodes. Who did Cody Rhodes piss off in the back? Because I actually thought he was going to win Money in the Bank back in July. Well, the ladder match that Dolph Ziggler actually ended up winning. It's like, it just seems like he's been on a downward spiral lately. Sin Cara wins. He won pretty quickly, actually. Cody was pretty preoccupied with taking off the mask of Sin Cara, and because of that, he lost. I don't understand what they're doing with Cody Rhodes right now, because this basically sucks. I mean, Cody Rhodes should be he should be he should be starting to contend for the world title, not be jobbing to Sin Cara. I'm just saying here. Also, right before the commercial break, you see Daniel Bryan in the back. He's screaming no at anybody that moves, and then he comes out to the ring and he just sounds like he's a crazy psychopath or something. And he's chanting no, and of course the crowd's chanting yes, yes, yes. And I think that just gives you a sign of how over this gimmick really is. I mean, yeah, now instead of wearing a yes, yes, yes shirt, he's wearing a no, 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 and it seems like it's more over than ever. But anyway, Kane ends up coming down to the ring, and then who should show up after him? Why, it's the Raw General Manager, AJ Lee, who was invited there tonight by Booker T, and she ends up making a match for SummerSlam between Kane and D. Bryan. And she wants them to shake hands before the match, because talking about it, doesn't want him to have anger issues that he doesn't, and she doesn't want him lashing out the crowd every chance he gets. Doesn't happen because Kane starts pounding on him and chases Bryan out of the ring. Daniel Bryan goes through the crowd, and then you see AJ Lee. She's laughing up at the top of the ramp. It's like, okay, who's really got the mental issues here? Daniel Bryan or AJ Lee? Because after Daniel Bryan went into the crowd, she was screaming, "This is great!" Then she just stand on her knees like, it's like, oh, whew, wow, what a segment that was, huh? Then you had Booker T in the back with Teddy Long and Kurt Hawkins and Tyler Rux come up to him. They basically want to get a match on SmackDown, but Booker refuses them because he wants A+ talent, and they don't. And he thinks they haven't been fitting the bill as of late. So I guess no match for you. 1 year. So I guess they're trying to give Ryback some sort of a feud, I guess, with Jinder Mahal. He's trying to do what Ryback normally does. He takes on these two jobbers, and they didn't even have the decency to give us names. So we'll just go with 2 is greater than 1. Anyway, he ends up putting both guys in the camel clutch, which I thought was pretty impressive myself. Then after he does that, Ryback comes down to the ring and chases Mahal out of the ring, and things couldn't get any worse for 2 is greater than 1. Ryback does his finisher on both of them, and they just both basically get destroyed. Oh, maybe they will have a match at SummerSlam? Could, maybe. Okay, then for the first time in a little over 2 years, you get Chris Jericho with the highlight reel. And it's supposed to be Dolph Ziggler and Vicky Guerrero, but Vicky ends up coming down to the ring first. I mean, Dolph Ziggler is nowhere to be found, and oh my God, Jericho just destroyed her on the mic. And then they showed the replay of A-Rai beating Ziggler after Jericho distracted Dolph, and then Jericho promptly put it on his tout account, and he just says, Y2J is back, baby! And Vicky says there's going to be a match between Ziggler and Jericho at SummerSlam. She ends up slapping him, and then when Jericho kind of didn't really go after her or anything, but she's just kind of standing off in a little distance there, and then Ziggler comes up behind him and gives him the zigzag, knocks him down. And then finally he gets the Money in the Bank briefcase hit upside his head, and that's about the end of that segment. And at least you get another match for SummerSlam, and which you knew was going to happen anyway. Then you got Vicky cackling like a hyena in the ring when it's all over, and so it actually was a decent segment, I thought. Okay, before I get into the Primetime Players versus Primo and Epico tag team match, I want to put in my 2 cents about this AEW situation. What happened to Abraham Saddam Washington getting future endeavored after the SmackDown on Friday night is complete and total bullshit. I mean, seriously, folks. I mean, granted, what he said about Kobe Bryant was out of line, saying that Titus O'Neil was about as unstoppable as Kobe Bryant in a Denver hotel room. Yeah, that was uncalled for, and that probably could have called for a suspension or something, or a fine, or whatever you want to call it. But I tell you why, that didn't get him fired. What got him future endeavored was that when he said vote for, when he tweeted a hashtag vote for Linda or die. That I totally believe, and he believes it too, that's what got him fired from WWE. Complete bullshit. I mean, I know earlier on this year Chris Jericho kicked the Brazilian flag, and yeah, he got suspended for a month, and it was probably deserved. And then back in the summer of 2004, JBL was goose stepping in it around the ring in Germany, and did anything happen to him? No. I mean, he didn't get suspended, he didn't get fined, he didn't get fired. They put the WWE title on him at the Great American Bash, where he beat Eddie Guerrero. God rest his soul. But this is, oh my God, this is just, it's just mind-boggling to me. Was that such a bad offense that AW did? Talk about Linda's sentence seat. Was that really a fireable offense? I mean, seriously. It kind of just goes to show you what Vince McMahon is really worried about. He's really worried about getting his wife into the Senate. And I'm even a Republican. If I lived in Connecticut, I sure as hell wouldn't vote for her, just on principle alone. So, what we're doing at the Off the Rope show, and what I'm going to have in the description box, I'll probably even have it on my screen. We really need to get this going on Raw this week. I hope we did, and I think we need to get it on SmackDown as well. We should have hashtag Don't Vote for Linda and hashtag Bring Back AW. I mean, as far as that goes, it could even find her suspended maybe for a couple weeks or a month or something. Yeah, they could have done that, but they went ahead and fucking fired him, and that is bullshit. But anyway, the match itself, Primetime Players won by DQ after AW got into Kofi and R-Truth's face. They were sitting on commentary. They ran into the ring and they attacked the Primetime Players, which brought about the disqualification. So they won, and Primo and Epico weren't very happy about it, but they're probably gonna have a match at SummerSlam, hopefully, and I hope to avenge AW's firing out the PT Pierce win. And just when you think WWE is going in the right direction with Antonio Cesaro along with Oksana, they kind of throw you a curveball, because the last couple weeks on WWE TV, he's defeated Santino Marella clean, who is your U.S. champion. And for that, he ends up going and jobbing to Christian. Christian, who hasn't won in a couple weeks after he lost the IC title to The Miz on the Raw 1000 show. It kind of makes you really wonder if WWE really doesn't know what to do with Claudio, you know? But I guess when you're WWE, I guess you can do what you want, I guess. But I guess they did kind of rectify the situation, because I heard today that the UT pregame show, it's going to be a U.S. title match between Santino and Antonio Cesaro. So, boy, how far has the stature of the U.S. title fallen when it can't even get on SummerSlam, and it's got to be the YouTube pre-show match? That's ridiculous. So next we see Eve back in Booker T's office wearing those hot librarian glasses. Oh my fucking god. And she's still looking for a job. She harps on her experience as John Laurinaitis' executive assistant, or whatever you wanted to call her, back when it was in the era of people power. And Booker tells her there's nothing available, and then Teddy Long comes in with Caitlyn. Yeah, we have a Caitlyn sighting. Whoa. And Booker T ends up hiring her, and Eve thinks it's unfair, and she's gonna go talk to the board of directors, and so Booker T makes it all fair, and be a match next week on SmackDown between Eve and Caitlyn, and the winner becomes Booker T's assistant. Ooh, that ought to be interesting. Sounds like an episode of SmackDown Canned Heat now, doesn't it? So what does it really mean to be a secondary champion in WWE? Sounds like to me that you job more than you win. And take the case of The Miz. Just won the IC title a couple weeks ago from Christian on the 1000th episode of Raw, and he hasn't had a very good week. Last Monday night on Raw, he ends up jobbing to Kane, which is, well, I guess. Then he's going up against Rey Mysterio this week, and the match itself was actually pretty decent. And then Miz ends up jobbing to Rey Mysterio. So, wow, it's not a good week to be a champion, huh? I guess it really doesn't mean that much unless you're the WWE champion or the World Heavyweight Champion. So, and maybe there'll be a match at SummerSlam between these two. So, yeah. Alright, so then we get the main event for the World Heavyweight Championship. Sheamus defending against Alberto Del Rio. We get SummerSlam coming early. Or sort of. Well, after the introductions and all, the San Antonio cops come down to the ring, and ADR is trying to get him to back off, trying to get him to stay away. They end up coming on top of the apron, and what do you know? It's all a big setup. Bunch of crooked cops. Fuck the world, baby. They all attack Sheamus. There's about 6 of them. Ricardo gets involved. They end up all holding Sheamus up, and ADR does his worst, and he ends up putting him across the arm breaker, and that basically ends the show. Well, and because of what happened to Sheamus at the end of the show, there will be no world title match at SummerSlam. Because Booker T called it off, so at least for the time being, I believe they were going to do something on Raw this Monday night to maybe find a new opponent for Sheamus, because Del Rio's out of it. So be interested to see where they go from that with that. Final thoughts on the show. I didn't think the show was that great personally. The highlight reel segment was pretty good actually. It set up another match for SummerSlam, and maybe Jinder Mahal and Ryback will have a impromptu match on SummerSlam. Maybe that'll be on there. I don't know if they've, as far as I know, they haven't announced a match for that yet, but they might have something there. Then Daniel Bryan with his no chant and getting in everybody's face. I think that's funny as hell. I think just proves how over that gimmick really is, and it's just a big downer to hear AEW getting released. And I know I speak for the rest of the Off the Rope show when we say it's a load of crap, and like I said, I will have in the description box the hashtag don't vote for Linda and the hashtag bring back AEW. So signing off for now, I am Marvelous Mark, and I will see you later. Goodbye.